Welcome to the most comprehensive Go High Level course you'll find. And the best part is it's completely free. In the next few hours, we're going to take you from a complete beginner, from somebody who maybe never has even logged into High Level, to the person who's going to be running and fulfilling advanced automations, building your first website, and even showing you how to actually get your first customers. This isn't going to be some fluff. This is going to be a step-by-step actionable program and course that you can actually access for absolutely free. Again, my experience in doing all of this is I've helped build, start 6, 7, and 8-figure online businesses. I was an early stage employee at a company called Empire Flippers, where I helped buy and sell more than $120 million worth of online businesses. Now, I want to help you earn from anywhere. One of those missions is teaching people how to get started for free. And so that's what we're going to cover today. And let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and we'll kick off the course. We're going to try to keep this as fluff-free as possible. And the way we're going to do that is by having a really strict guided path here. So as you can see my screen, we're going to be building full high level, taking you from expert in under 2 hours, essentially beginner to advanced. And a lot of people are probably wondering, what is high level and why is it relevant to you? High level is essentially a website builder, marketing automation maker, and email software all in one. It's essentially a business in a box. And after trying multiple different software, a bunch of different automations, using things that just don't work together, I was fed up, started learning how to use high level, and it's leveled up my business, and I've helped other people get this started. So if you're in need of a website, so a place to send emails, a place to keep in touch with all your customers, or a CRM, and a social media planner, this is just a few things that high level can do. And it's all in one area and one really great system. High Level is one of the most popular platforms out there. It has nearly 8,000 5-star reviews. And so if you want to follow along, we're going to be screen sharing our High Level test account as we do this. So if you want to follow along and start doing the things that we're doing on screen for your own High Level account, what we have here is an exclusive 14-day free trial where you can actually get started with High Level and actually go ahead and make sure that you're able to start building with us. Just either click the QR code, or I'll leave a link below in the description where you can actually go ahead and do this. So as we're going through this sort of presentation, having a High Level account is going to look something like this. So if you want to scan this QR code, take a screenshot of your screen, and then hard press it with your finger if you're on your phone, you can actually get open to this screen here. All you got to do is click this 14-day free trial, fill out your company name. If you don't have one yet, just use your first and last name, or come up with one on ChatGPT. It's not super important yet. Then you put in your full name, email address, phone number, and then step 2, you're going to select a plan. For basically everything we're covering today, you'll just need the lowest plan or the lowest option. If you plan on reselling High Level to other agencies or to white labeling it, meaning you're basically selling it to other companies, then you'll likely need one of the larger plans. So you're basically just going to go to step 2, add in your details, and then you'll have something that looks a little bit like this. So back to the slides here, I'll give you a brief preview of what to expect in this training. And so if you like this training, you don't have to do it now, but if you enjoy this and you want to get multiple access to a bunch of other trainings where we're doing it live, we're able to answer your questions, you're also able to access a bunch of other materials, a community of other people learning about High Level, making money online, then you can start a free 7-day trial of the Earn From Anywhere Academy, where I'm in there teaching you, and there's more than about $20,000 of inclusions, and you get access to this for a really cheap monthly rate. But you can try it out for yourself for just $47 a month, but you get a free 7-day trial if you click and scan this QR code, or you go to school.com/EFA. I'll also leave a link below in the description. Now, let's get right into it. Starting off, let's go over the actual high level from a broad overview. We're going to be covering website, core features, automations, and how to win your first customers. We'll start off by giving a quick introduction about high level because you really need to understand the foundation that we're going to be building on. We'll go over some of the accounts and communication setup, building an actual website and funnel, the core CRM and pipeline features, marketing essentials, and then some automations we can implement to win your first customers, either as a client or through your funnel. We'll have some live demos and then we'll wrap it up. So if you're already an advanced person, you can skip ahead. But what I suggest doing is following along, taking notes, and really it's going to be beneficial to have your own high level account so you can pause it, implement what you learned instead of having to watch things through multiple times. So starting off, I kind of explained this a little bit with a few analogies, but what exactly is Go High Level? Some people call it Go High Level. They changed their name to High Level. So if you hear the same, it's basically the same program and company. They just had a name change. It's essentially an all-in-one sales and marketing platform that also combines a CRM, a funnel builder, an email and SMS platform for marketing emails, sending cold emails, and it has a bunch of different automations all built inside of it. It has agency level tools for small businesses. And essentially, this is the part that I love. I was able to basically replace more than $1,000 worth of subscriptions for software into my $97 per month plan. And so after I was able to do this and get this set up, I was like, I love this program because I was able to save more than $900 a month just by switching over to high level. And so if you are one of those people like me who had a bunch of disjointed software where software A and software B and software C, they couldn't really communicate well with each other, or you just had everything kind of connected through Zapier connections, this is a really good fit for you. Or if you're a complete beginner, like I wish I would have just started on high level 5 or 6 years ago because it would have just been a lot simpler to grow and scale. On a $97 a month plan, you can easily do $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month in profit, and you can grow this business exponentially past that. There's people who are building and running 7-figure agencies out of a $97 a month high level account, which is awesome. And so let's dig into some of the key benefits of what's actually going on in high level. So again, I mentioned this briefly, but some of the key benefits that I noticed from having 5 or 6 different software that I had to log into was everything centralized, meaning the person that I booked on my Calendly meeting was going into one area. I had a Calendly structure that would go into HubSpot, and then I would have email automation through ActiveCampaign. And so it was just really disjointed. So the thing I love about high level is everything's in one area and it can collect data and details all centralized. Also, it already has the best features from all these other softwares built in. You're going to get automated marketing and follow-ups. You're going to be able to build professional websites and funnels without coding, meaning if you can just drag and drop stuff, it's super easy. And you can also use other people's templates that are already proven to work and make money. There's also some really cool integrated scheduling, pipelines, and reportings. And the great thing I noticed about this was a lot of those key details and metrics were being lost in other programs and software, meaning the person who scheduled a call on Calendly wasn't really integrated to my other software. So yeah, it might have been integrated to HubSpot, but it wasn't syncing well with ActiveCampaign or the software that I was using to send text messages. So having it all in one place shows me, hey, this person has open text, open emails, scheduled calls. It really gave me a flashlight and hey, you need to focus on these leads in your program. And since doing that, having everything in one platform, my business has scaled exponentially because it's given me a really good insights on who to actually talk to in my business. When you have thousands or hundreds of thousands of contacts and leads, it can be overwhelming to know who do I actually need to focus on? Who should I give my attention to? And so let's actually just go and start off with an account navigation and overview. Understanding how the platform actually works is going to be super important. So, what I think is best is to show the agency view versus the sub accounts, the main menus, and the help center and live chat. These are going to be some of the most important areas to really understand. So, as you can see here, this is the basically what everyone's account should look like. And you have these sub accounts here. So you can switch to agency view by clicking this, and then you potentially can set up sub accounts. And the reason this is important is you can actually run multiple businesses under one account. So you can have sub accounts where you basically can set it up for another company, or you can use it for multiple different businesses. One of the things I really love about HighLevel is this feature. So let's go ahead and also talk about some of the other things that we can do. So what we have here, starting at the top, is the HighLevel logo. So if you're white labeling HighLevel, you can actually add the company's logo or your own logo to show them and give them access to this. So it doesn't actually show HighLevel. It's like you have your own software that you can put your branding on top of, and then you can get people access to that. So just starting from the left down is the search feature. Again, I forget where everything is, even after using HighLevel for quite a while. The search feature is really helpful for just understanding, okay, I'm looking for this. You can try searching like, okay, let's say I'm looking for the website builder or the funnel builder or automations. You can just type things in here and it'll find it for you. And then it's a lot easier to navigate through. The other thing that I want to show you here is, let's just give an example of this. So let's say we're looking for our automations. So it'll show up our, if we want to add an opportunity, a context, categories, or go to payments. And what's also good is, since this is a test account, we don't have a lot of leads in it. So if we want to just add a contact, let's say Mike, we can add Mike as a contact or an opportunity. And we'll get into explaining what exactly that means later on. So kicking things off, they've got a launchpad here. And just give this a second to load. This is basically going to be a short list of things to set up as you're getting started. So when you first get HighLevel, you're probably going to want to connect a few things. Stripe is going to be one of the most important things. This is going to be used for if you want to actually accept payment methods. Stripe's one of the biggest payment processors out there, and there's a few other things. So we usually recommend people to set up Stripe and PayPal. And so any checkout or any payment links you send will then go through Stripe, and you can see it all connected here. If you're going to be planning on doing any social media stuff, you can also sync it up with Facebook. So that way you can actually get leads in there. You can share to your Facebook pages. And also we have WhatsApp here. WhatsApp isn't super popular in the US, but it's growing. So if you plan to be contacting people through WhatsApp, it can be a really good way for lead generation. So this is just some of the things that it actually recommends doing. A lot of people using HighLevel have a Google business profile. And this is basically if you go to, let's just say, in your local area to find someone to get a haircut, you'll see their Google business profile. Let's say you're going to, Supercuts or whatever. You'll actually see that. You'll see the reviews, their details, or the website. And so you can connect this with HighLevel and actually do some cool automations for getting reviews, managing your contacts. So HighLevel works for online businesses, but it also works for some offline businesses as well. And then here you can quickly add one or more team members to your HighLevel account. It's pretty easy to do. And so we'll get into that a little bit later on what the actual team member statuses mean. So let's go down to the dashboard. This dashboard is really cool because it's super customizable. Meaning, since this is a test account, we don't have a lot of data in here, but we have some pipelines here, so you could just basically click these and switch between your different websites or offers that you have. And so it'll change some of the data that it has for that. Since we don't have a lot, let's see if we have anything here. So this test account doesn't have a ton of stuff in it, but it's a good idea of what actually can happen. So for all the pipelines here, we have the conversions. So basically people that have converted through this account. Then we have the opportunity status and value. So basically that'll give you a brief overview of how much money you're leaving on the table for these opportunities. And then we have the funnel. So when you're building a funnel, you can actually see how much it's converting at each stage. And you can see, okay, at this stage, it's converting at 10% to the next step, and it's making X amount of dollars. Then you have some tasks. These are going to be things like, hey, I need to follow up with this person, or I need to make sure I get on a call with this lead or contact. And so what's cool about this is you can really customize this the way you want. And so as you get your business up and running, you can change the dates here of how the reporting dashboard should look. But in general, this reporting dashboard is super beneficial for when you're growing your business. It basically gives you a really good glance view of the performance of your business. What I typically recommend is how much money have you made? What does the funnel look like? And then some of your tasks is some of the most important things. But every business is going to be a little bit different. So it's important to understand what are those 4 or 5 metrics that are important for understanding your business, and then making sure that they're all in this dashboard. So after that, we've got conversations here. And this is going to be really cool if you're doing anything on social media. And what's cool and popular now is a lot of people are doing what's called DM funnels, where you sync up your social media. Anytime somebody comments, it'll start a thread with them. And you can actually build some DM automations where they download the file or they click a link to log in. And what usually works best is you give somebody a free thing and they opt in, and then they're added automatically to your CRM. So I don't want to go too deep into this, but this is basically where you can chat with all your customers or potential leads in one area. Next up, we're going to have the calendar section. This is pretty cool because it basically eliminates like the whole need for a Calendly account. So you can have your calendar, you can set it up in here, and you can actually share an appointment link with people. So they can book an appointment or demo or sort of sales call with you. And basically you send somebody a link, it shows what available times you have. And then it has a bunch of cool automation where it'll actually show what times are best for their calendar. It'll send them email reminders, and it also send them like a Zoom link to join the call. And then next we've got contacts. And so in contacts, this is basically to be where you have people that you're wanting to get in touch with. These are going to be people who essentially have opted in for your offer, or they're going to be people that actually are potential customers, right? So what you have in here is you're going to have your database of connections, and they're going to be leads, customers, people who are basically going from a, let's just say, a lead to a marketing qualified lead to a sales qualified lead to a customer. And basically every company should define what that means. At a marketing qualified lead, typically you have their email information and some of their interest. For a sales qualified lead, typically you need to know, do they have the budget to buy what we're selling? Do we have their phone number? And do we have their details to actually make a decision if they would be a fit for any of our programs, services, whatever? So for example, if you can only sell to somebody in the United States or Americans, you might figure out, their email, they're interested in, learning about something, maybe out of 3 options, like they're interested in option A and maybe option B. But to become a sales qualified lead, they might have to fill out a later thing that you send in, like a survey, or, fill out some more interesting details later on through emails to get their phone number, to understand what country they're in, their budget. And so once they do that, they become more of a sales qualified lead, and it gives them the details for your sales team or yourself to figure out, hey, this lead's actually qualified. Let's put some attention onto them. So let's just open a contact and see what's inside. So there's a lot of details here: first name, last name, email, phone number, date of birth. You can customize a lot of this stuff, but in general, depending on what type of business you have, you can ask them survey questions, you can have them fill out forms and have all those details here. Then there's some tags, and you can tag people. Let's say they opt in on a certain lead magnet. You can tag them to make sure, okay, they came from this area. So you know exactly where your best leads or your worst leads are coming from. Then you can see what courses they have, actually access to. So you can give them access to these courses. You can give them access to certain community groups. And you can just see kind of like all the activity for each individual. So there's a lot of other stuff here. We'll go a little bit deeper, but I just want to give you a casual rundown of how much cool stuff HighLevel can do. And then we'll go a little bit deeper once we've kind of set a foundation. So opportunities is essentially the area that is basically what is considered the CRM, or the customer relationship manager. And inside the CRM, you're basically going to have certain deals. So deals are a little bit different than contacts. So let's say you have 3 or 4 different offers. You could have one contact that has multiple deals on different offers, right? So, and they can be at different stages. So for a typical, let's just call it sales funnel, you're going to have, let's just say, opt-in or lead. Then you can have, after they fill out their interest, they could become a marketing qualified lead. And what's cool with HighLevel is you can automatically move them there. As soon as phone number and interest is known, move them to the second stage. And then after that, once they fill out details about becoming a sales qualified lead, you can move them there. And it's really cool because having these automations means that you don't have to do anything. So after that, typically on a call funnel, you're going to have a sales qualified lead go from that funnel to a call scheduled. And then from a call scheduled, you're going to go to close won or close lost. And so after they booked a call, you can also have follow-ups and other stages to your funnel. What's cool about this is there's a lot of cool automations that you can have to make sure that this is all happening automatically. And you can also really keep a good eye on every funnel and every aspect of your business to understand, okay, this is where we're at. We have more than $100,000 in deals in this demo stage. And we know that if we get $100,000 into that demo stage, they're converting at, let's just say 30%. That's $30,000 that we have on the table there. And so you can really figure out the numbers of your business growth is like, okay, for every qualified lead we get, let's say we have 1,000 qualified leads, 10% of those qualified leads go to sales qualified, and 30% of those sales qualified actually book a call. And so you can track, and you can just start at the top. It's like, okay, well, we need to generate, let's just say 100 leads a week for X amount of price to generate this sort of income. And so you can really figure out the easy math is like, okay, if we're not generating leads for under $50, this pricing model is just not going to work. It's never going to add up. So it can give you a really good insight to the health of your business, to how many leads you need to get and at what price point, and then what conversion rates you need to get them down the funnel. A lot of times people think they need just more leads, but you typically just need to get your leads down the funnel at a better rate. And so when you're looking and thinking about this, understanding some of the industry averages is important, but every business is going to be different. what I see with a lot of businesses is they generate leads and then they have no sort of process to get people from a lead to marketing qualified or to sales qualified. And so what they do is they have lead opt-in. Later on, they just try to sell it to everyone like they have the same problems. And so we'll get into how to solve that. I don't want to get too off tangent here, but this is one of the most important areas. And again, like what I was doing on HubSpot, their CRM costs like, I think it was on like a $700 or $800 plan. So it's pretty impressive what it can do here and how extensive all this stuff can be. So moving on to payments. So once you have Stripe or PayPal integrated, you'll be able to send people invoices. Say, let's say you've got a potential customer or client who wants to pay you $10,000 a month. You can make an invoice through their platform. You can send it, and then it'll automatically collect it. They'll have a link to click on that invoice, and it'll basically just go to a checkout, and then you can collect funds that way. There's a lot of other stuff we can do here with payment links that I mentioned, but let's keep going. I don't want to get too off the course of action here. This section is just important to understand how much it can do before we go a little bit deeper. So there is some really cool AI stuff. Again, you'll need a higher plan or the AI, Summer of AI sort of plugin. So if you want to get an AI employee, they've got a pretty cool 30-day free trial. So once you've signed up, you'll see this and you can opt in to get an AI employee. And the AI stuff's really cool because you can actually do conversations and voice AI. So let's say, for example, one of the cool things I've seen is, let's say, for example, somebody calls you, and I actually just got a call incoming like 5 minutes ago. What you can do with your voice AI is you can upload a podcast or just 30 minutes of you talking about something, and you can clone your voice, which is awesome. And so what you can do is you can create your first voice AI agent. So many people miss money. They get a call and then they don't call them back. What you can do with a voice AI agent is any missed call, set your AI agent to auto dial them back, ask them a few questions, qualify them, and then book a call, like schedule a time that you can meet them. It's pretty impressive. It's gotten a lot better over the past 6 months. And the other thing that's cool is on your website, you can have a little pop-up that says, hey, what can I help you with? And you can direct people down the flow of one. It just adding a pop-up on your website, you're going to get like, I've seen 10 to 20% increases in just leads, but it really depends on your amount of traffic. If you're getting 10 visitors a day, it's not going to be that. So what I expect typically is 5 to 20%, just by having a little pop-up on your website that's asking people what they need help with. This is really cool because if you're a new business, you can learn what the main problems are, or you can learn what some of the common questions are, and then you can say, hey, we've got an FAQ. Just keep adding to it. Or if people are saying, hey, I want to get in touch with you, but I don't see how to book a call, you can add a book a call as something directly on your website. So conversation AI, voice AI, really cool features. We're only going to touch on that a little bit here. We're not going to go super in depth in this sort of module, but we'll go more in depth in future trainings. So moving on down to marketing. This is a really cool area. As somebody who has a marketing background, it's pretty awesome to have all of these great things in one sort of dashboard. And so basically what happens here is we've got everything under one roof. We've got a social media planner. So if you're wanting to create content on social media platforms to generate leads or to generate just, buzz about your business or what you're doing, you can actually schedule posts here. So you can schedule things on Facebook, LinkedIn, multiple other platforms. And what is really cool is I've actually done demos where I just take an hour and I plan my whole social media week. in 1 hour. Some people are able to do it. If you're just doing, Twitter or something, you can do in 1 hour, you could plan, a whole month's worth of content. A lot of cool ways to use AI to do that, but more on that later. We've got some email stuff here. Basically, this is going to be one of the most important dashboards for understanding how your emails are being delivered, what the open rates are. It's going to show you the health of your business, essentially. And so the email stuff is really important because it's one of the best marketing channels that I think almost nobody uses. And so what's important about this is with email, you can kind of see what's going on with everything in your business. You've got different campaigns that you're running, and you can kind of do a lot of other cool stuff here. You've got affiliate managers, you have other links here, countdown snippets. But email marketing is one of the most important things to consider for your business because once you have somebody opted in, it's one of the most affordable and cheap sort of programs to have. So other than that, we've got automations. And what's cool is you can actually create email automations or you can create other types of automations. So I'll give you a short preview of what that looks like. One of the most common ones is abandoned cart. So let's say you have a checkout on your website or for your products. And what happens is a lot of people start that checkout process, and I think only industry standard is about 20% of people actually finish it. So 80% of your customers are just leaving the checkout. So wouldn't you like to talk to those people? And so what usually happens is if you email that 80% in a workflow, you can get 10 to 15% more customers just by doing that. So when you have this abandoned cart flow, I'll just kind of show you a preview of what these can kind of look like. You have the builder here. And so you have some sort of trigger where what I usually recommend people to do is collect the details. So first name, email, and then start the checkout process so they can have a trigger that puts them in here. Usually you want to wait at least an hour, and you can put some stipulations here, check to see if they're a customer or not. So that way it doesn't send them an abandoned cart sequence if they do end up finishing the checkout. And you can set up some settings to make sure that people get unenrolled from the sequence if they do buy in. So let's say they buy in like an hour or maybe the next day they would get taken out of the sequence. And typically what a sequence would look like is, hey, you left this in your cart. Here's a link to check out if you want to complete your checkout. It might have a few other details about, hey, a lot of people are buying this. Here's our refund policy. Here's our guarantee. You can add stuff like that, but generally you just want to just remind people. What happens typically is they're on their phone, they're in the car, and they just add it to their cart and they forget about it. So reminding people for the next day or so is usually the best practice. Then you can send reviews, testimonials, coupons, and lastly, usually the last email I like to send is, hey, we're going to empty your cart. Here's the link if you want to get that discount before we empty your cart. And so things like this are really cool. And if you have the AI add-on, you can actually build workflows using AI. Just say, hey, I want help doing this, and it'll build the whole workflow for you with all these details. So we'll go a lot deeper into the workflows later, but just a quick preview. Moving on, we have sites. This is basically where you can run websites and you can run funnels. So you can have a funnel that is multi-steps. And so the two different things between a website and a funnel, the biggest, easiest thing is usually on your website, you'll have a lot of different details on how people are able to get information about your business, your customers, or the services you offer. But a funnel is going to be like one area. So let's say, for example, you have a high ticket, offer, but you also have a low ticket offer. So you would have two funnels for those. And then maybe you have a mid ticket offer. Typically on your website, you'll probably have the funnel for the high ticket is usually going to be to fill out a questionnaire, make sure you're qualified, and then to schedule a call. That's one funnel. For the low ticket, it might be a checkout process with 2 or 3 steps where they start the checkout, you add a few things on top of that, and then they actually go through checking out. So you can actually build your websites. You can link a website here, which is really cool. You have stores, webinars, analytics, blogs. There's a lot of cool stuff on here. So it's a very quick setup. Even if you want to like take stuff offline, if you have an offline store, you can run this through that. So basically you just add your domain, add some products, set up your payment processor, and you can even do shipping and test orders all within this area. So again, not going to go too deep yet, but we'll get into all of the form builders, the client portal, all these other fun things. Moving on to the next thing is the membership. So if you want to have a training area where you have course materials, contents, and what's cool about this is you have a client portal where people can basically log in and get access, and you can generate access for each individual. So let's say you have customer A, he's going to have access to course A, but you can have customer B who has access to course A, B, C, D, E, whatever, and different products. So what's cool about this in the client portal, you can kind of see all these different details. And so you can host your courses in here, and you can have multiple courses hosted with different automation. So for example, you can have a course where on day 1, they access the day 1 content. On day 2, they get sent a reminder email, hey, your day 2 content is now unlocked. And so they can log in there, watch all the videos, do all the text trainings, however you want to set it up. They also have some really cool communities builders on here and a few other things. Moving on next, we have media storage. This is basically where you're going to upload any logos, documents, files, testimonials, images, stuff like that. It's pretty straightforward. You just click this upload button and you add images that you can use later on in any of your automations, your websites, anything like that. But you can also host stuff here. You can send people a direct link if you want to share something. This isn't just videos, but also videos and other assets. Moving on next, we have the reputation. This is basically going to be a super important area because the reputation of your business is really important. So if you don't have reviews, you should focus on getting people really good results. And as soon as you deliver that first big win, you want to go ahead and try to get those reviews. So there's a lot of cool automations that HighLevel can do to actually request reviews, get reviews, and do all that fun stuff. But more on that later. Then we have reporting. There's different reporting dashboards here. We have Google Ads, Facebook, attribution, calls, appointment reports, audits. So there's a lot of cool stuff that you can see here all in one dashboard. And you can make your reporting interface pretty advanced. Then we've got the app marketplace. What's cool about this is there's a lot of other cool apps like make.com, which is kind of similar to Zapier. It's just another automation. So let's say, for example, there's like 1,000 apps that connect with HighLevel, which is amazing. But let's say, for example, your app doesn't connect through Zapier or Make or any other of these, let's just say, third-party automation systems. You can connect to anything. So I haven't found anything that I haven't been able to connect to. So depending on your situation, if it doesn't connect natively, then it will connect through platforms like Make or Zapier. And so what you can do is you can just basically install these free apps and get them working in your website and in your business basically for free. And then moving on down, we have the bot press. This isn't going to be super relevant, but it's just some integration stuff. More on that later. It's a WordPress integration. And now if you saw that, I did that kind of quickly, but we have the settings area. This is another important area that you want to understand. And once you open this, you'll see your whole complete sidebar changes. So once you're in there, and what's a little confusing here is this is the settings for a sub account. So if you want to go to the settings for your overall account, so think about the overall account is at the top, and then below that you have sub accounts that also have different settings. And so each one of those sub accounts is going to have some different settings. And so if you're looking to go to the main thing, you want to go to agency view and then click settings. But let's just run through this. This is going to be your business profile. This is where you can set up your business name. We just have a name test account for now because we do a lot of these demos. We don't want to release people's sensitive details. And basically, it's not super important. Again, if you don't have all this stuff, just put in filler account. Like we're running a business. You don't really need a lot of this. So when we do have like our LLCs, we'll put that here for a legal business name, or we'll get all of our clients' details. Next, we have billing. So this is basically where you need to update your payment method. So let's say, for example, your HighLevel account is set up on your debit card and you want to add your credit card. You can change it here. Or if you just want to change your credit cards. The My Staff, this is basically where you're going to be adding your team. And it's super easy to do this. Basically, hold on one second. I think my internet is struggling a little bit. So hopefully you guys are able to see this. So while that's loading, the thing that I'm trying to explain here is that whenever you're onboarding, you're going to want to get all your team members in there. And you're going to have different views for your team members and different access. So let's say you have a person on your team who is, okay, here we go. Let's say you've got somebody on your team, like we've got Mark here, who I'll introduce here in not too long. He's one of my team members. He's, one of my top guys. I love working with him. I trust him with my life. So I'm going to give him full account access to everything. But let's say you have somebody who is new to the team. You don't know them yet, or maybe you just know that their role isn't going to need access to everything. So Mark's a super, expert at HighLevel. He knows about 10 times more than I know about the system. But let's say you have a team member who is just only going to be dealing with one or two things, like sending emails. What you can do here is you can actually add that user, and we'll just add a user here because I think it's pretty important. Add in their details. You can make their signature for their email. But the important thing here is their roles and permissions. So we've got the user role, and that's going to change their access and stuff. But for somebody who you want full access, you want to give them admin. And so what you can do for each individual, you can actually go through and turn off individual things like, oh, I don't want them to be able to mess with the voice stuff. So you can turn that off. Or you can just turn off the AI stuff completely. And you just go through line by line and see, okay, this person on my team really only needs access to communities, their community manager. But maybe they need access to some of this other stuff like, the payment stuff. Maybe they're community manager, but they also help with payment, issuing refunds, canceling accounts, or just signing up new customers. So you probably want them to have that on, but they don't need any of this other stuff. And what's cool is you can actually make it kind of simple for the employee. Typically what I recommend for a new employee is turn off the stuff, and then when they can access something, just turn it on if they need it at a later date. And so when you have that, you can just click save, and basically it'll get them access for that. So there's a lot of cool stuff with that, with the actual access. And it's an important thing to know because as your team and as your business grows, you're going to be needing to add more and more people to it. So moving on next here, We have some opportunity stuff. Again, there's not a lot of details in here since it's a test account, but you can do some settings for that. There is a lot of stuff here. So let's just go through the business services area for automation. Basically, this is going to be simple settings for each one of these. And let's just say when you're not in the settings area, there's going to be a lot more detail. So this is kind of the back office stuff. So this is the global workflow settings. And so you can set some stuff like, let's say you want to temporarily pause workflows from a certain date, or you don't want to send people stuff on a holiday. You can select the workflows here and just pause automations on those dates. And so next we've got your calendar. This is where you can set up some integrations, preferences, your availability, and other connections. So you can connect your calendar. You can make a lot of cool things. If you have any problems here, you can share your calendar. Again, we've got a lot of AI stuff. This is where you're going to be able to set some of your, you can create your bot and set some of the settings for those bots. The knowledge base. This is a pretty cool area. Knowledge base is kind of like an FAQ, but it's usually searchable. And you can actually use AI stuff with this, which is pretty cool. And so what usually happens is, let's say you have a customer service team, they're going to get asked a lot of the same questions. So what you want to do is build a knowledge base of things that anytime before somebody messages you something, they have to search the knowledge base. And what typically happens is like 80% of people can find their answers in that knowledge base, depending on how insightful and in-depth it is. And so let's say they're like, oh, I can't find the login area. Well, you don't need to like answer the same, I can't find the login area every 10 seconds. So what you can do is, before people submit a support ticket or contact you, say, hey, did you search the knowledge base here? Then they would search that, they would find their login details, and it would basically prevent you from having to waste time on a question that could have been answered a lot faster. So building knowledge base is a really cool thing for your business. Then we have voice AI agents. And this is, again, like we mentioned earlier, you can create agents based on your voices or other voices. Email services, this is going to be where you actually connect your email system to your HighLevel account to actually figure out, okay, here's going to be the website and sort of mail provider. One of the top ones that HighLevel integrates with is called Mailgun. I think it's free up to about 5,000 emails per month. And it just has some proxy settings here. You can set this up in a few clicks, and you can add different services. So if you have a different provider, SendGrid, Yahoo, other, Gmail, you can link all of those here. For phone numbers, this is where you can add your phone systems. And then we have WhatsApp. You can have some settings here. I'm not sure why it's not showing that, but if you have WhatsApp integrated, I think that's why we don't have it set up on this test account. And again, there's a lot of settings here. The ones that I want to touch on are custom fields. This is important because basically anytime you're setting up email automations or text automations, you can actually use these unique keys. So let's say on your initial opt-in, you're getting first name, email, phone number, but maybe on another survey, you're getting some of their problems. You can actually create custom fields so you can use those and insert those. Hey, you mentioned you had, you're wanting to save time, or you're looking for help solving problem A, or maybe they went to a certain university. You can actually create all these unique fields, and then you can customize them based on the individual contact on later automations. So it can be as easy as like, we're only going to contact people from this university, or you can say, hey, in this email, I see you went to this university. We love working with people like you. Here's another person a field A person who went to the same university and got these results. So you can add these custom fields and make a bunch of cool, sort of unique things for your business and for your automations. Then you have custom values. This is basically going to be things that you can add. It's very similar to custom fields, but you can add in certain values for your business. Scoring is another really cool concept for lead scoring. This is going to be something that basically you give people points based on how they interact. So if a person has opened an email, usually only 20 to 30% of people actually open emails, so they get an extra point. Then if they click a link, they get a point. If they spend 10 minutes on your website, they get a point. And so the idea here is we're trying to figure out which leads get the highest scores. Usually the higher the score, the better the lead. But over time, you need to figure out what sort of actions do people take to become a more noteworthy lead. And so usually if they book a call, they should probably get a few points because they've taken those steps. And if they're a qualified lead, they should get more points. So you can kind of see what the process is here. And so I won't go through a lot of these. I'll kind of go down to tags, just because I want to get a little bit deeper here. We've gone through now about 45 minutes in. What I want to show you before we dig into the next step is the tags area. This is basically just anytime somebody opts in or completes an automation, you can tag them, and then you can create lists on those tags to basically get in touch with them. So, for example, people who've actually bought a certain item, let's just say the $10 item you sell, you can add a tag for that. And you can also add points for the lead scoring, and you can enroll them in an automation to get them to buy another thing, which will add another tag. So this is a super important thing. I'll go back over to this. And Mark, I hope you're still with us, buddy. I'm going to give you a little warning here that I'm going to stop sharing on my side and actually let you take over here for us. So Mark, if you want to go ahead, I'm going to stop sharing. And Mark is basically going to share his screen and go through some of the more advanced automations that we have. And so Mark is somebody who has a super in-depth knowledge of HighLevel. We've been working together for quite a while, and I'm always super impressed with how fast and how advanced he is. So Mark, give us a short introduction on who you are, and then we'll basically kind of pass it over to you to kind of screen share and go through a little bit more of the deeper automations that we're going to be covering in this program.
All right, that was some great insights for HighLevel, Mike. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, my name is Japs, and I've been working on the online space for about 7 years now. I basically started as a graphic designer, transitioned into website designer, and I had some product with some website design. I didn't know that I was using HighLevel on that time. So that's where I started using the HighLevel, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. So I designed using funnels and websites of Go HighLevel at that time, and I transitioned into onboarding and customer service and also technical support, and that's where my knowledge in Go HighLevel started. And I became a technical support as well. So what I'm doing there is just helping clients with their troubles, with their problems, with their sub accounts and stuff.
Mark's a problem solver. So if you have problems in HighLevel, and again, that's one of the cool things I love about our Earn From Anywhere Academy is you get access to myself and Mark. So anytime you have problems, HighLevel support's good, but Mark's better. I'll say that. because he's willing to get on calls and help you guys out. So if you want access to that, make sure you click the links below. And Mark, I'll let you share your screen, buddy. I'm sure you're ready to just kind of take on over here, but he's going to uncover some really important stuff on how to actually go from that beginner. That walkthrough I gave you, it's important to understand the context of just everything that HighLevel is capable of because it can do so much. But we're going to go a little bit deeper on some of the most common use cases and features that HighLevel has. So Mark, I'm excited to see what you have in store for us, buddy.
Yeah, perfect. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Right. So before we tackle the walkthrough about email, right? But before you can use your high level account completely, this is the one thing that you need to set up first. You need to set up your email services first because email is very important in our business, right? That's where we start sending reminders, sending our offers, and basically that's the main communication for businesses using email, right? So we need to set that up so that we can reach leads. And it's not just setting up uh, the normal way, but you need to correctly set it up, like because high level has the correct way to do it. And when we did it correctly and perfectly, we can avoid putting sending our email into spam folders, right? So we need to configure email domain first to avoid those scenarios. So what are the steps? So you can see here the steps in setting up the email services. So we can go to settings first, and then we can go to email services. We can click dedicated domain and IP and click create dedicated domain. So let's check that in here. So if you are on your sub account, we will just go to settings and then we can proceed to email services. And there you go. Once we are on here, so we can properly set up our email services. All right. So this one is already connected. So you see here, our dedicated domain, it means our domain that we're using is this one, right? globalcareerbook.com. So if you have your own email from your domain, you need to purchase first from GoDaddy. That's the most recommended domain shop or domain site that you can have because it's easy to integrate GoDaddy to HighLevel. So this one is from GoDaddy. That's why it's easy to connect. So if you want to add yours, just click on add service, right? You can choose one in here and then just create a password in here, right? And then just follow the steps in here to connect it, right? But the one that there's also one other way to connect your domain aside from using Mailgun or SMTP service, right? It's using the dedicated domain, right? If you have a new sub account, maybe you can see a different setting on your end and it will ask you to connect your dedicated domain. So the same thing, you just need to uh, open your GoDaddy account and then put in your dedicated domain and IP. So like this one, lc.mydomain.com. So if your business is, for example, travelcareer.com, you will just put a subdomain, change the LC to your, for example, mail.travelcareer.com, right? So that's the correct way to set up your email domain. And then after that, after setting that up, you can test it in here under conversations, right? You can send emails, right? You can create emails in here and then send it to your own email, or maybe your other email account, or your friend or your relative's account, to check if it's going in using conversations. All right. So under conversation, just select all so you can see everything. Right. So why it is important to do it? Because without domain verification, if you didn't set up correctly your emails can land in spam and fail altogether. So if you don't set up like this one, if you didn't do it like this one, so you see here, sending from a dedicated domain improves the likelihood of landing in the inbox, right? So if you didn't set up it correctly, your emails will land in spam. So, the clients cannot see your emails if that happens. And also, if you use your own domain, it will give you a professional appearance, not just a generic sender, because they will see that you are using your own domain. It's a legit business, and the clients can see it in their mailbox. All right. So yeah, after
Why most people, when they're doing like mass email campaigns, they never use their own domain. They're sending from like subdomains. So in general, you want to make sure that the process when people opt in for your lead magnet or whatever, however you're getting these emails, that you automatically send them an email. And so when they opt in, say, hey, don't click here, say go to your inbox, open that email to find whatever they opted in for, because this is going to show the Gmail and email servers that, hey, person A got sent this email from your business and they opened it and clicked it, meaning that they're going to, be getting more of this. So it prevents your emails from going to spam if you structure it like this, because people know who you are, they click it, and they are going to be more willing to open future emails.
yeah, that's right. So that's how you set up about email services. Okay. Now, the next one in here is setting up phone and SMS. So, setting up phone and SMS, and aside from email, this is also important because, text messages has more insane open rates than email, around 90% plus. So, if we set up this correctly, it will be a great factor for your business as well. So, how to do it? So, we can go to settings, and then we can proceed to phone numbers, and we will add number, filter by country and area code, and then purchase number and assign to account. So, I know in here it's not yet activated, right? Phone system settings requires configuration right in here. So, yeah, so this one, we can just tackle this. Use LC phone. So, HighLevel uses LC phone in here, but they can also use Twilio. If you're already using Twilio for your previous business, you can transfer that credentials inside HighLevel, so you don't need to pay more subscription for lead connector if you already have Twilio. But if you use LC phone, which is the primary phone uh system for HighLevel, you can see that it is one click quick start, better cost with real time billing. You can see all the billing reports you have, how many minutes you spent on phone, on calls. And, this is better to use if you want to use voice AI, because, voice AI is a really useful thing in HighLevel. And also, you have increased security with better delivery rates and telephony management made easy. So, even though we can see it, this is the process of setting up phone and SMS, right? So you can choose local or toll-free numbers. So depending on your uh, option, yeah. But we use toll-free number in here so that it's much more cheaper. And then local numbers feel more personal to leads in the area, right? So it depends on what you need on your business, and you can filter it by country and area code. And the great thing about here, once you use your phone in here, so you can just check it under conversations again, right? And then you can see here in the contacts everything that you have, like how many numbers, how many and when you click some contacts in here, you can click the history. You can check the history right in here on the right side. You can check the history of conversations if they had uh called you, or how long is your conversation with them using phone, right? So you can track calls and texts inside HighLevel. All right. So that's for phone and SMS. We can proceed to adding your first contact, right? So your CRM, HighLevel, is not just a CRM until there's a data in it, which is a contact, right? So there are different ways on adding contact. You can add it manually. You can add it using importing all your leads, like 1,000 leads altogether. You just put it inside HighLevel. You can do it. And how to do that, right? So we can go to contacts and then add contacts. So let's proceed here. So we're already in contacts. So in here, you can just click on add, right? And if you want to manually do it, and if you want to add a photo of your contact that you want to add, just put in here. First name, last name. You can add not just one email, but several emails, and add their phone in here. You can also add if they're a lead or a customer, even their time zone. So you know that if it's a different time zone for your client, you won't send them a message because it's already midnight in their area, right? And you can see this one, DND all channels. If you want to mute them, right? DND, you can just turn that on because there are some situations that you need to uh use this DND inbound calls and SMS. All right. So you can also add a tag for every contact that you are adding, right? So if you want to arrange or manage your contact, you want to delete them or do bulk actions with your contacts, you can just select, right? Select all, and then you can manage all your records, all the contacts that you have. All right. So it's just like saving a contact on your phone, so it's not too hard to do. Now, importing existing contacts. This is the second way to add contacts in HighLevel. So to import contacts, so let's go to contacts again. So here you can see we can upload CSV. So maybe you're wondering what is CSV? It's comma separated values file. Most of the Excel files or contact files that we have, sometimes Excel or it's from sheets. So all you have to do is to save it using CSV. So you just click on save as and then save it as a CSV file so that you can upload it in here, right? So just click on import contacts. So just click on import contacts, and it's important to map columns to contact fields and set consent and list preferences, and then that's when you can do bulk import. So I want to show you that in here. So contacts, all right. So I think it's better if we can import or export our contacts, and then we will import it again. Okay. For example, this one. Let's select everything. Select all 750 records. We will export it first. Export contacts, and then we will upload it. Okay. So yeah, good thing it's already on CSV file. I'm not sure if you can still see my screen. I'm gonna share it again because I'm sharing a different one. I think I'm gonna share all the screen here. Okay. So yeah, I'm uploading the CSV file now. Okay. So yeah, you can see this is what CSV file looks like. So let's just rename this test contacts. Okay. So that we have an instant CSV file now. And I already showed you how to export. Now, let's go import all of those contacts. So let's import. All right. And then click next. All right. So this is where we add our file. So let's click upload. All right. It's since we selected here only CSV file. So only CSV files will show up on our computer. So let's select that. So remember, we need to map columns to contact fields. So that's the next step that we will do. Let's click next. That's number 3. We will going to map all the columns to the fields. So it will auto detect the first name, all right, and then the last name, business name, and stuff. So if it looks good to you, just click on next. Right. Don't update an empty value, and then click on next. And then you can review the import, and then just don't forget to click this. I confirm all contacts in this import have consented to hear from us. And then just click on start bulk import. So we'll not continue uploading this because, it's already inside our CRM. We don't want to duplicate one. It's hassle to delete all of those, right? But if you're uploading a certain contact list, for example, it's a group of contact lists that is designed to target for a certain campaign, right? For example, they're all doctors or they're all from certain areas. For example, they're in a city, for example, Michigan City, uh, New York City, all of these states are from that area. You can add a tag, right? For all of them. Just create a tag, NY lead, something like that, and add it. And then that will be added. So that tag will be added for all of the contacts that we are uploading right now. All right. So that's how you upload, bulk upload contacts, right? Inside or bulk import contacts inside HighLevel. Okay. So we already have our email, our phone, and our contacts. So we have our list already. So now we can proceed to the next one, which is the funnel and website. So the difference between funnel and website, funnel is directed to a goal. It's like a brochure where people can wander around, but a funnel is like a guided tour where you control the next step. So, funnels versus websites. Funnels are single path, minimal distractions, and designed to convert. So, you see, funnels are like a one page site which directs you to one goal to purchase something or purchase a product or enroll to a course, buy a ticket, right? But websites, it's multi page. If funnels are multi step, websites are multi page, and it includes information for all your for your business. That's why it has some about us, services. Sometimes we had chatbot in it. Uh, we can also do that in HighLevel, but there are both built in sites section. Okay, so funnels are better for ads and campaigns. And websites are better for brand presence and organic search. So maybe you already had an idea how to use them efficiently. So if you were looking for lead generation, you're looking for leads. So it's important for you to use funnel. If you want a certain info or you want to direct the customer to have more info or learn more about your business, we can create a button there, like learn more, that we will redirect them to your full website, right? Because, websites are better for brand presence and organic search, and funnels are for ads and campaigns, right? So, yeah, those are difference between funnel websites. Now, how can we create funnel from template? We can create funnels from scratch. It's possible, but if we use template, it's like starting with walls already up. It's like building a house with walls already. Or all you need to do is just decorate and customize. But it's up to you if you're a pro and you want to do it for yourself, like do it everything from scratch. But if you want ideas first and you just want to edit it, you can use a template, right? So what are templates? So templates are pre-designed funnel structure with ready edit text and images. And it's available inside HighLevel for many industries. So for many niche. And I want to show you that in here. So if you can go to sites, and if you want to create a website or a funnel, just click this. All right. So aside from templates, we can see here funnel AI. It can create AI within seconds. So it's really cool. It says here create a site under 30 seconds. So if you want to start from scratch, just click this. But right now, I'm going to show you funnel templates. So let's select from templates in here. And you can see there are different templates depending on the categories. You have your automotive, beauty and fashion, business coaching and consulting, creative, and many more. All right. So you see, if you start with funnel templates in here, you can save time and remove design overwhelm. For example, you're creating a funnel for lead capture. You have lots of ideas for design, but if you use a template, you're sticking on that same color, same style and structure. And it's great for beginners who want to focus on the content or the copywriting of the funnel instead of focusing on the design, right? The content is more important. The design is just a plus if it's appealing, but If the hook is great, the content and the copy is great, you know, you can sell your product. So, for example, in our lead generation, we will use this one. For example, this one. I think this one is great. This is simple with a big headline. Let's preview this. All right. Okay, this one is good. So let's continue and use this. So easy as that. It will be added as a template inside your funnel area. And it will redirect us to edit mode, as you can see in here. So this is the edit website editor or funnel editor of HighLevel. It's straightforward. You can see here placeholder for the logo. So if you already have a logo, you can just click on this, click on an element, right? And then you see if it changed to an image, it changes on everything that you click, and every element that you click, the settings for an element is here. But if you want to add elements, right, adding is on the left, customizing is on the right. So if you want to edit this one, just click on the image icon and click on upload for uploading a logo, right? For example, this is your logo, a butterfly. So you select that logo, right? And you see it's warped. It's because it must be auto in here. Issues the auto, right? So that it will be on the right size. So maybe 100. 8 views. All right. 80 by 32. Yeah, that's better. All right. So you can scale it correctly depending on your logo. Right. But yeah, we did a simple edit on our funnel. Right. So that's how to change. You want to change text, just click on the text and then uh, add your headline and add your copy in here. So when it comes to adding video, it's the same. Just click on that. And then you see here, the element changes to video. And for embedding video, you can see here, you can choose between YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia, custom embed, or hosted video. So it's easy if you have upload it to YouTube and just put the link in here, right? So you're sure that your video will not be lost because it's on the cloud. It's uploaded on the internet. But if you have a local file, you can choose your hosted video and then select the video file, right? And that's the good thing about hosted video is you can select a thumbnail of the video. So you can upload an image like in YouTube, you can select a thumbnail for your video. Okay. And you can edit the button in here. For buttons, you can add for design since it's too boxy. I don't want that too boxy. So if you want to add a padding, like a little round design on your button in here, so you can just scroll down and choose the border. Sometimes you can see a no border, but you can select full border first. select the border radius to maybe 15. See, we can add that little smooth edges with that, the border radius, and it looks better, right? Instead of the boxy button there. And then you can now turn off the border again, and it looks better now. Some little tricks for buttons there, right? And you see it's moving. That's an animation that you can see here, the hover animation. If you click wobble, it will wobble once you hover your mouse. But I think it's more professional if you choose the elevate. All right. So that's how you simply create a funnel from a template. And everything here can be added. So also under funnels, we have here, aside from templates, we have here section templates, which we call pre-built sections. So if you want to add here, I don't see here, oh, there's an FAQ. For example, we want to add testimonials, right? There are different layouts for testimonials in here that you can choose. If you want to add FAQs, there are different templates for FAQs as well. For product placeholder, you can also add it in here. Image slider, right? If you want to add a gallery for services, it's already in here. So these are pre-built sections that you have. And for example, you created a section that you like and you want to use it for all of your funnels and templates. So we can save a section and it will be put in here. So to do that, for example, this section is your favorite about us. You did it for your branding. Just click on save and choose it depending on section templates or global section or universal section. So if you choose section templates, you can use it as a template anywhere. It will be on a save sections. But if you save it as a global section, it will save on funnel level. So if you change this, if you do an edit for this section, it will sync across this funnel. But if you save it as universal, it will save an account level. So any change in one instance will sync across all instances account wide. So I'm just saving section templates for when I like it. All right. So when I need it, it's just in here. Save sections. Okay. That's why you can see here the timer section, which I use for previous templates that I created, right? Right. Simple, gray timer. Yeah. 14-day guarantee, something like that. Okay. Going back in here, let's proceed to the important part, which is adding a form to capture leads. So, a funnel without a form is like a pretty brochure because, the form is what turns visitor in a contact into your CRM. So that's an action that they can do to gather their information so that we can uh, it can turn a regular customer into a lead because of the form. So we need to add a form. Now, how to add a form to capture leads? So we know that forms are a set of fields collecting visitor info. So a form consists of three basic fields, which is name, email, and phone. And we know that capturing leads using a form is the first step to automation and follow up. So to do that, we need to go to forms and add forms. And then we will add fields, name, email, and phone. So we can also customize it. We can add colors, logo, and then save it. And then we can save it into our funnel. So let's do that. So let's go back. Okay. So forms is found in sites. And then you can see here forms. And we can go to builder, form builder. So we will create a form here. So to create a form, just click on add form. Yeah, we have templates for forms. All right. A simple contact us form, stay in the loop, drop us a message, right? So this one, I think this we'll just use this generate registration. Okay. Let's use that. And then we will be just adding email or phone, which one's missing. Depends. So let's check that. Let's wait for it for a moment. So let's check it again. Let's go to sites and then forms. Okay. So this one is the recent one. So also one thing, just click on this one recent and it will show up the first on the first part. It will show up the most recent edits or the most recent edited funnel website or form that you have. So this one is cool. Stay in the loop. If you want to add another field in your form, as you can see here, we only have first name, email, but we don't have a phone number. So just click on phone in here and then add it. Okay. So, but when adding phone, it's, this one is included, but we can remove it. And if you want here to add country picker, right, you can just select that so that they can select which phone number, which country their phone number is using. So we have the three basic fields now: phone, for name, and email. So first name, one is better. If we change this to full name, okay. So it's better to use it. And then submit. You can center this. All right, so it looks better. And then remove this privacy clause. Okay. So we just created our first simple form with full name, phone, and email. So let's preview it to make sure that it's good. Okay. Then save that again. Okay, now how to add this to our funnel? So just click. So let's go back to our funnel that we're creating. So let's go back to funnels. And then, yeah, August 12th. So this is it. I think this one is it. The one that we're creating. Okay. So to add this to our funnel, this form, so we can just select add element. So, we can add a form depending on if you want your form to be a pop-up. Okay. Just click on pop-up settings and then you can select a form in here. You don't have any forms yet. We just select the form that we have. I think that's the registration one. All right. So that's it. That's our form. And the pop-up settings, let's check here. Close pop-up on cleaning outside. Show pop-up on delay. For example, the pop-up will show up after 10 seconds. Okay. Or maybe on exit. It's better to exit. So that they will show, they can see it first before they leave. Right. Yeah, I think better is 10 seconds. You can do that. And then just save it. Then we have our pop-up already. But other way to do it, right? You can put it in here. You can put it somewhere on our funnel. For example, this one. If you want to put it under your funnel, like an opt-in page, so you can just select form in here. Just drag it on the row that you selected or just put registration in here. Okay. So that's other way also to add a form on your funnel. All right. So let's just save this and then we can proceed to the next part of our training. Now, let's go back to connecting a domain. So, for example, this funnel that we're doing, we want to connect it to make it live. All right. So, if you don't have a domain yet, instead of like this one, a generic Go High Level link, then this one is already live, right? If we use it on another app browser, it will show up. But you see, the link is app.gohighlevel.com, so it's not professional looking. So we need to you need your own domain, and for that you need to purchase a domain from GoDaddy. That's the most recommended site that you can purchase a domain that you want. Right? If you don't have a domain yet, you can type a domain that you want in here, search how much is it, and then purchase it maybe for 1 year, and you can renew it once your business is already going. All right. So to connect a domain, all right, go to settings, domains, click connect a domain, and add domain. Follow the inner steps, verify and assign to funnel. So when connecting domain, we can click on settings and then proceed to domains. And then we already have a domain here, but the step here is connect a domain. Click on connect and just put a domain name in here, right? For example, on our end, our domain is, you can see here, travelhacking.co. So if you want to connect a subdomain, right, just for example, it's just for a test website, test.travelhacking.co. You can change the subdomain name if you want, but just click on continue and then add your required DNS records, and then you're good to go and connecting your domain. But if you're using GoDaddy, you don't need to do it. You know, it will automatically be connected. Example, this one. That's the travelhacking.co. Since this travelhacking.co is on GoDaddy, if you click on continue, you will see that it will open up GoDaddy right away because it detects that, oh, the server, this is from GoDaddy. Yeah. So if you click on authorized domain, as you can see here, it will automatically propagate the DNS records and you will just have to wait. But if you use other domain providers like Crazy Domains, what else? What else? You know, Hostinger and other stuff, other domain providers. You need to do it manually, right? And you can save time if you use GoDaddy. This is not sponsored, but you know, it is the best way to use GoDaddy, to use and go high level. All right. Now setting up pipelines. So pipelines are like sales to-do lists. So they visually show where each lead is in your process. So let me show you what pipelines are. So we can see it under opportunities, right? And you can see here, these are pipelines, right? Pipelines are you know, these are the steps where your lead are. So these are the pipelines or the stages where your lead is at the moment. You can add the stage or you can arrange the stage if you want. And these are the typical stages where leads are: new lead, contacted, demo scheduled, proposal sent, closed one, and closed lost. So you can edit this and you can add more if you want. Okay. So how to set up pipelines? Since these are the stages of a lead: new lead, contacted, book, and closed. So we can go to opportunities and pipelines, create new pipelines, and add stages. This is important, setting up pipelines on your business, because it helps prioritize follow-ups. For example, you have a demo scheduled. So you can see here, right? You can double check if you have a schedule for a demo, so you will not miss it as well. And for example, do you have, let's check this, a travel hacking offer, travel hacking demo. For example, Kylie is under um proposal sent, but it's not yet one, right? Closed one. So maybe you need to have more follow-ups to Kylie so that they can go in here, right? Maybe you can create an email automation, email sequence to Kylie to make a move, to take an action, so that they will be in here. For example, Kylie is a closed loss, but it won't stop there. Maybe you can add a tag for closed loss leads and contact them again. Maybe their situation or circumstances have changed already. So you can market them for a different different approach, so that you can reach out to them again and create another email sequence for them for closed loss. All right, like reactivation email sequence, something like that. Okay, now adding opportunities. So opportunities, these are the leads, the individual leads inside your pipeline. So you can see here, for example, opportunity value. That's the value, that's the opportunity, all right, for each one. Like how much they purchased. So this opportunity value of Kylie is $97. So this is where names become deals. So how to add opportunity? So import leads as opportunities. You can manually add from opportunities tab and assign pipeline stage and value. So yeah, you can manually add like opportunity. For example, one contact, Michelle. Michelle purchased uh your course. So let's add Michelle as a new lead, and the amount is 97. Just create that. And she will be added in here. Right? So Michelle is added as a new lead. All right. So you can add manually or you can add it using automation. Okay. So attract sales prospect tied to a pipeline stage. That is the opportunity. And it's important because it lets you measure deal value, closing rate, and sales cycle time. All right. So if even though you're not sure of an opportunity value, that for example, it's just a prospect, it doesn't mean that they purchase it already. You know, you can add a value as well. So it helps with forecasting. Okay. Now let's proceed to email campaign basics. So email campaign basics. So it's not just sending one email, but when we say campaign, it let us reach many people at once. So it's bulk sending to all of your leads. Yeah, but if you personalize it, it's it's better. Like use their first name. contact at first name. That's what we can do here in HighLevel. So how to do that? So we can go to marketing, emails, and templates. We can select templates or create from scratch. So in here, so let's go to marketing, all right? And then emails, and then templates. Okay, you can see here templates. So there are different templates in here. When you click on new, you can see your email marketing templates. And let's choose simple. And let's click on continue. So either you can select template or create from scratch. And you can customize its content like we can do in funnels and websites. And then we can save and send as campaign. All right. So like funnels, you can see here we can drag and drop elements, image, and other stuff to our email. So we can customize everything. We can change the view, how it looks like on mobile. We need to check that as well. And then we can save that template in here. Okay. And once we're ready, we can click the three dots in here. We can test an email, send email to yourself, right? Send their name, send a test, preview text, and email subject. And then you can send a test email. Okay. So that's the email campaign basics under email campaign. All right. So now let's proceed to SMS campaign basics. So like email, since text get read faster than emails, this is also useful to learn. So how to do SMS campaign? So to do SMS campaign, we can go to contacts, filter, and select. So unlike emails, so we can go to contacts. So in here, we can select the people that we want to send text or SMS with, right? Okay. But one good thing, since we have a tag in here, so we can select filter and by tag is, so we can select new leads. All right. For example, we're just selecting people that has the tag new leads. So since we select that, save that a smart list, new leads. And then we can save that as smart list. So smart list like saving them as a group. So we know when we go to this tab, all of these are new leads. And then that's where we can select all 742 records. And then now we can send them SMS for all of them, right? So that's the SMS campaign. We can send SMS to a lot of contacts, 732 more contacts, and then okay, proceed. And then send all at once. We can select send schedule time, and we can select a phone number that we will use to send SMS to them. And in here, we can select our message, type a message in here, send all a scheduled time, or send in drip mode. So for drip mode, you can see that we can select either batch quantity. So maybe if it's 700, for example, we'll just send 100 tomorrow, 100 the next day. So we can select 100 per day. So after 7 days, you already sent your message for all of the 700 contacts. And you select a time window in here as well. Okay. And then just click send and you're good to go. So this is also important. So merge fields. So depending on the contact, you see, if you click a contact, the first name is Carolee. And if we use contact that first name in the beginning of our SMS, so it will sound like hi contact, hi hi Lee, or depending on their first name, hi Kara, I'm reaching out, blah blah blah. So it's more personalized. So make use of using this one, contact that first name for writing messages. So that's for SMS campaign. Now, social planner setup. So the social planner for social media, it saves you from logging into multiple platform to post. So we can use social media planner. So you can see it under marketing and then social planner. So you see here, you can select your accounts. You can connect first your social media accounts. All right. So you can select it under integrations. So go to settings and then integrations. And then let's wait for it. Settings, integrations. So still loading. Let's wait for it. Okay. So you can see here the integrations. You can connect your Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So once you connected it, your Facebook and Instagram, you can now then proceed to social media planner. So in here, it's just posting on Facebook, but you can schedule it in advance. So you can dedicate one day or a week where you create all your posts for the next week. So just select your account first, right? Create your post here, and you can see the post preview, and then click the drop down in here to schedule the post. Okay. You can add tag as well, and you can select the post. Post this as feed, or you can post it as a reel or a story. So it's all customizable. It's an all-in-one social media planner that you can make use of. And here you can see the content statistics as well, right? So you can see how many likes you have for a certain post. So we can connect Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, and YouTube in this planner. So maybe soon I will show you. I will use this planner and I will show you the reach that I'm doing for everything I have. So we'll make use of this so that I can share with you how to maximize the usage of this social planner. But yeah, it's easy to use. And if you're planning to create regular content, and it helps us to be more consistent in posting. Because, if you are consistent in posting, you will have better engagement and brand presence. Okay. So that's how you use social planner. Okay. Now, automation overview. So automations are the secret sauce because they will work while you're sleeping. It's running even though you're not around. So for the automation overview, so here let's go to automation, right? So in creating automation, there are three parts of it. First one is a trigger. That's the event that starts a workflow. And the action is what happens after the trigger. And the filter is the conditions for personalization. So let's select the sample workflow in here, right? So I'll show you some sample automation here. So all you see here on the top, these are called trigger, right? So that's the start of a workflow. And after that, for example, a form is submitted, you will be sending an email or an SMS, right? And then the filter is the condition for the workflow. Okay? So why this is important? Because it automates repetitive tasks. For example, repetitive tasks when someone signs up, or when someone signs in, when someone books. So before, when someone books, you see it on your notification, you will chat, "Oh, thank you for booking. I received it." So you're doing it manually for every booking. But because of automation, you just set a trigger when someone book on your calendar, right? That it will automatically send an email. For example, this one. So we will just define appointment status in the calendar, right? And then you will just save it. And when someone books on my calendar, it will go through here, send SMS and email like thank you for booking, sending the uh, link for the meeting, and you're good to go, right? You notified the client without you lifting a finger. So the tip for here when creating automation, you can start simple, one trigger, one action like this, and then later on you can build add a wait step, add if and else and stuff. But once you get ahead of it, you get a hold of it, it will be easier from time to time. And don't worry, we have here recipes like templates that you can use for your workflows. You can hear if you're looking for lead nurture, customer appointment reminders, you can have it in here. You can explore it here, maybe soon if you want to explore different types of workflows. Okay. Now, automated email follow ups. So this one is important because here's where your form starts paying off, an automatic thank you email. All right. So we can create that. So for example, this one, lead nurture. So when someone submitted a form on your funnel form, right? So you can give them a thank you email. Welcome, right? Welcome them to the community. Right. This is sample automation for uh automated email follow-up. And then after that, after sending email, you will wait for 1 hour. So when contact replied, you will can have a tag like contact replied. But if not, you will send an SMS saying, "Hey, just checking if you saw our email." And then you can add a tag, engaged lead, because they replied. So, this one, they will go through 2 steps in here if they replied or not. And that's just because of this wait step. Because we're waiting for contact reply. But if you want to delay, like delaying the next email, delay 1 day before the next email, you can just choose time delay so that you're waiting just for a particular amount of time or period. Right? So automated email follow up, we have a recipe email drip sequence. So let's check that. So create, select from template, email drip. All right. Email drip sequence is under communication. So yeah, so this one, let's continue using this so that you can see what it looks like for email drip sequence automation. All right. So you can add a trigger. So for example, the form that we created, form submitted. And let's select the form that we just created. So define that filter form is, I think this one, registration, and then save that. So after someone submitted the form registration, so we can send here email. Subject goes here, and we can select this. We can edit this template. Wait for open or 1 day. And then after that, was email one opened? Yes or no? So this is an if and else, right? Yes, email event is open. Email event is not open. So it depends on the situation. So if it's open, you can send another email. If it's not, email one with new subject. So it's just email one, but a new subject. And if they wait 1 day, send email two. So it's a drip sequence because it nurtures the customer and wait for them to take action and filters them if they're really interested or not. Okay? So this is what I'm saying. So when sending emails, it's important to use the merging fields like this one. Hi, contact that first name. Thanks for reaching out. So let's use that simple one. Welcome. Welcome. Right? Simple like that. This. So to use the custom values, contact that first name. Okay? So easy as that. And then save action and then save. Okay. So the triggers for submitted, customize email and publish workflow. So just click on publish and it will be active. Okay. So automated SMS follow up. We know we cannot do this because we haven't connected our phone yet, but yeah, it's the same process. We will just change email. We will just add here phone or SMS, right? Send SMS. We'll just add that and then save action. Well done. Okay. So just add that in here, and that's how you do SMS follow up. Okay. How about appointment reminders? So appointment reminders is important because we can reduce no-shows by reminding people about their booking. So for appointment reminders, we can use appointment confirmation plus reminder under recipes. Okay. So let's proceed to recipes again. Create workflow and select from template. And we will select appointment confirmation. So we just use here appointment confirmation plus reminder. So like that and then continue. So in here, we will just have to edit the meeting link and email, and then we will just edit also the message. But to show you, here's what it looks like. All right. So the trigger here is appointment. Event type is normal. Confirm. We'll just select the calendar. In calendar and select in calendar. So so everyone that books in this calendar will go inside this reminder confirmation. All right. So when someone books an appointment, they will receive this confirmation email. And then 24 hours before the appointment, they will receive another reminder. 1 hour before the appointment, they will be reminded again, also with SMS. 5 minutes before the appointment, they will be reminded again. So they will receive 5-minute reminder SMS. So if this is your reminder for your uh booking, imagine you will reduce no show unless it's really an emergency, or maybe they're driving, maybe they're outside, or they don't have internet. That's the only circumstances that they will miss your appointment. But with this automation, you can lessen that no show by, 50 to 70%. So this is really a cool one to use. So testing your automations. So testing your automations. So we need to test our automations, of course, because we don't want to create mistakes once you're already live. So it's really important to test one, two, or three more tests and do a final test before launching, right? So use a test contact with your phone email. So you see here, everything has a test contact, a test workflow. Every workflow has a test one. Even email, run a test for a contact, and then click run test. Submit form, book test appointments, right? Even appointments, book an appointment first to check if it's going through. If you're receiving an reminder email once you're booked, and check SMS and email delivery for email and SMS campaigns. All right. So test on both desktop and mobile. That's really important as well. So if you're creating website or funnel, test it on your uh, phone, test it on your laptop or your iPad. Check if it's really if good, the fonts are good, and everything is perfect. All right. So next one, live demo. Yeah, we already demonstrated everything. Show funnel in action. Submit a form, demonstrate automated follow up. All right. So yeah, I think this one is already good. Like if we create here, if we do this live action, like if we test our uh form here, like this one, all right, and then we put our email. So and then we submit this. It will just redirect us to the normal, uh, yeah, like that. So let's check if we're inside the automation that we just created. And let's check that recent one. All right. So we're inside the recipe email drip sequence because all right. So this is me. All right. Yeah. I'm in because I submitted a form, right? So you see here, see contact execution path. And I think I received an email as well. All right. So our form submitted. I submitted the form under registration. So we receive an email. Welcome. So let's check our email. All right. Yeah. I receive an email. Hi Jap. So it used my first name, right? Thanks for reaching out. Okay, so it's really cool. Just simple automation that we created. It's working right away. And yeah, wait for open one day. And I think I opened it. So since I opened it, let's check. I opened the email, right? So let's check if it changes, if we will be moved on the workflow. All right, not yet. Yeah, maybe one day. So maybe tomorrow it will change, even though I opened it right away. Let's check. Yeah, maybe it will wait for one day. All right, but yeah, it worked. Our simple automation, the automated follow up worked. And yeah, so all in all, we discussed everything. We built a funnel, we connected the domain, we imported contacts, created automation that works. Those are very, very simple. You can do it also after our training in here. As you saw, you can try it on yourself. So you can build one funnel, use our templates, purchase a domain and connect it. You can import your contacts, right? If you already have your leads. You can create one simple email and one SMS automation. And yeah, YouTube is there. YouTube University. You can find resource links like Go High Level Help Center. And yeah, thank you so much. Do you have any other inputs?
No, that was awesome. So if you're watching this on YouTube, give Mark a big thumbs up, leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought. I'm blown away with how insightful and in depth and just how fast Mark you were able to do everything, work your magic in high level. And so if there was anything missing out or if there's anything that you want to learn, leave a comment below. If you like this type of video, let us know. We're going to be we're making live trainings pretty much every week or a few times per week about high level, about automations, about marketing. And so we want to help people essentially get their first customers, get set up online. And so let me share my screen here really quick and I'll just go back to recap. Again, if you want to, go through high level, actually get started, get your hands dirty a little bit, we suggest using the link here, or if you want a longer trial, check the link down below in my YouTube channel. There's a few different links there. See what's plan's going to work best for you, or you can scan the QR code here for a 14-day free trial to get inside, get up and using everything. But if you want to take it to the next level and you want some more help with DM access, joining the community of other people going through this, get live trainings and a huge amount of bundles of courses, materials, and other great goodies. Basically, inside the Earn From Anywhere Academy, we do a lot of this stuff for you. So we actually build you your first website and funnel for you, and we show you how to get your first customers within 60 days. So if you want to join that, you can start a free 7-day trial, and then you can go to school.com/EFA or just scan the QR code on the screen here. And so when you're inside, send me a DM. We'll be giving you direct access, free trainings, and a bunch of other cool stuff here. And I'll just give you a brief preview of the Earn From Anywhere Academy. Essentially, we did a beta launch and we have some really cool members. We've got about 65 members in here. We've got a lot of people already sharing wins, things they're learning. And so you can see here in the community, then we've got a classroom with a bunch of cool details and trainings. We've got my whole travel hacking masterclass, a bunch of cool things coming. I just interviewed more than 20 entrepreneurs and over $1 billion of business generated. So that's going to be going inside here. Then we have all of our high level trainings about marketing, sales funnels, all this great stuff inside here. We do the live trainings as well, where you can join live, ask questions, get help on your business, your funnel, whatever you're needing. And then the cool thing about school is that the more you participate, the more you unlock. So we've got some leaderboards here. So again, Earn From Anywhere Academy, we help you get your first customer in 60 days, guaranteed. You can start a free trial. Just scan the QR code or hit the link below to join us. And again, if you like this video, make sure you hit subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and let us know in the comments if you like this type of content. This is a little bit different, But my goal is to help people earn from anywhere. And so we see that providing some free resources like this, super in depth, is a big push towards helping us fulfill that mission and goal. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mark, for your time, buddy. And we will see you all inside the Earn From Anywhere Academy.
Thank you, everyone.